And welcome into WPST Local 6 Middays, Local 6 Legal Line. Visiting with the attorneys from the Bryant Law Center, Paducah, Mayfield, and Louisville. In the middle, Mr. Mark Bryant. To my far left, your right, Tyler Brown. And we'll answer your questions at 1-888-208-6946 regarding personal injury and criminal defense. And we start with the first question. Someone says, I went through the self-checkout at the grocery store and forgot to scan the 2 bags of dog food on the bottom of the cart. They charged me with theft. It was an accident. I don't understand why I was not given the opportunity to pay for them. Will this case hold up in court?
I'm going to take that one. And the reason is I had a trial exactly like that. I had 2 chemical engineers that worked at a big chemical plant, made a ton of money, went to a local big box store and left some dog food on the bottom of their cart, and as they pushed it out, I mean, they paid like $200 some odd for the groceries that were in there, and they pushed it out and forgot about it, and they got arrested. And so they were not about to plead guilty to it, and so we went to trial. The jury found them not guilty, but still they had to pay a lot of money to go through that. So the answer is yes, you can be charged, and they'll do it at some of these places.
Next question comes from someone who says, I was driving back from my friend's house in Carbondale and got stopped in Kentucky for speeding. They searched my car and found some pot I had legally purchased in Illinois, and of course they arrested me. Is there anything I can do since the pot was purchased legally in that state?
Dave, that's a good question. There may be some options. As of 2020 or 2022, the Kentucky governor, Governor Beshear, had issued an executive order as far as possession of medical marijuana that was purchased pursuant to a valid prescription in another state. That executive order has a few guidelines in order to qualify for essentially what's immunity from prosecution. So you definitely want to reach out to a criminal defense attorney in Kentucky and speak to them about that to see if you qualify for that. Like I said, with the executive order, there's a list of certain requirements that have to be met in order to meet that standard. So you definitely want to reach out. There are some exceptions, based on that executive order that may apply to you. So you definitely want to speak to an attorney before you go to court.
Have roughly a minute left in today's part 1 of Local 6 Legal Line, and someone says, I've been hearing mixed advice on getting a breathalyzer test. Should you always take one when asked to do so? Okay. Who wants that?
I'll take that one. I will say this. In Kentucky, the officer's always going to give you an opportunity to reach out and speak to an attorney while you're going through that process. I recommend that you do that. Try to reach out to somebody. As far as whether it's better or worse to take the breathalyzer test, that's always situational, but I will say the law is stacked against you as far as the penalties go if you don't take the test. So in Kentucky, at least, if you refuse to take the test, you could have your license pretrial suspended, so you're not going to be driving while your case is pending. In some situations, it can be an aggravator depending on how many DUIs you have in your record. So definitely take the opportunity to reach out to an attorney while you're going through that process. It is situational, but just also realize the law creates certain incentives for you to take that test. So if you don't, you're going to have to suffer those consequences.
Well, part 1 of Local 6 Legal Line is in the books. Have a question in the pipeline, and we'll get to that right after we take a break. We come back for part 2 of Local 6 Legal Line with attorneys from the Bryant Law Center. That's next on Local 6 Midday.